You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowing like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look up better put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the second part of What If Deku Meets X-Men. Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of Masterob on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Mayday looked impressed by his energy. Wow, not used to seeing Izuku all fired up, I like it better when he's not so shy. How about you, little girl? Ready to build your body up? Tiger said. You know, your father went through training like this himself. Back in the day Captain America put him through hell to turn him into the man he is now. Now I'm gonna do the same for you. Just try it. Mayday said. Kota continued to look on from behind the bushes, something Rina had caught when she got a whiff of a new presence. Is that a kid over there? Probably belongs to one of these chicks. Or the old guy. Kota continued to look on when he noticed a shadow over the bushes. Peeking out he saw Rina glaring down at him. What do you want? Who are you and why are you peeking at us from behind a bush? Rina asked. None of your business, you wannabe hero. Kota shouted. Oh, a smart butt, huh? Rina extended her claws, freaking Kota out. Back where I'm from, we have ways of dealing with little punks like you. Hey, back off. Kota shouted, this getting Pixie Bob's attention. What's going on over there? Pixie Bob leapt over to the two. Hey girl, you're from Class B, right? You should get back to your training. Naughty kitties who skip out don't get treats later. I'm no kitty lady, Rina said, showing her claws. I'm a Wolverine. Same family, now get to it, Pixie Bob ordered. I have some drills for you. Fine by me, Rina said, then turned to Kota. Stay out of trouble, kid. Don't tell me what to do. Kota shouted, stomping on her foot, Rina reeling back. Little brat. Rina looked ready to strike but Pixie Bob stood in front of her. March. Pixie Bob ordered, Rina angrily stomping off, declaring revenge on the kid. She then turned her attention to Kota. You really shouldn't be hitting these kids, it's not proper. Don't tell me what to do, you're not my mom, Kota said, angrily stomping off, leaving Pixie Bob a bit dejected. Understanding his frustrations though, she left him be and went to train Rina, this whole encounter not having gone unnoticed by Izuku. Poor Kota, hope he didn't make too much of an enemy out of Wolverine's daughter, the boy continued to worry for Kota, wishing he could help. You're open. Tiger shouted, nailing Izuku with a punch. To lose focus in battle is inviting your own destruction. Why yes sir. Izuku weakly replied. Later in the evening, it was mealtime, a lot of food was out but nothing prepared. Remember what I said yesterday, Pixie Bob began. We're no longer serving you food. You're gonna have to cook your own meal. Ragdoll said. Starting with curry. Pixie Bob declared. Ragdoll began to laugh somewhat maniacally, ha. You all look exhausted, but that doesn't mean you can make lousy catnip. I'm seriously gonna PND on one of these pussies, Mayday said. May. Franklin began. I know what I said, I'm not rewording it. Mayday said, making her way to the pots. She's been in a really bad mood lately, Flurry said, then called to the girl. Hey May, are you feeling alright? Was the training too rough? Training was fine, Mayday said. Is it your time of the month? Rina asked. Don't be a beach, Mayday said. Takes a beach to know a beach, Rina taunted. Mayday glared at Rina, I swear I'm gonna dash. Ahem. Tenya said, getting their attention. Don't you see this is part of the training? Aiding someone in a disaster means tending to their needs, both physical and spiritual. This is a great opportunity for us. Now let's make the most delicious curry in the world. Ragdoll found this humorous as the class gave a deadpan reply, all right. Thank you Ida, Aizawa praised. That young man makes a great point, but honestly cooking is a must-need life skill, mean you can't expect others to cook for you forever. When I was your age I was already a gourmet chef practically, Applejack said. Thank you for your words of wisdom. Tenya said. This is why our elders are a vital part of our society. Ain't that old sugar cube, Applejack said. Later Shoto had begun lighting a fire for some of the grills, getting his side ready for some cooking. Hey Todoroki, mind lighting our side? Mina asked. Yo bakugou, use your quirk too, Siro said. This is so beneath me. Bakugou said, lighting up the grill, but his explosion just destroyed it. Bit too much over there. Remy joked. Grr. Stupid card guy, Bakugou angrily muttered. This is why you shouldn't solely rely on others, Momo said as she created a spark igniter. Try to learn some new skills for yourself and that should help. Shoto had gone to Mina and Ochako, helping them light up the fire, hope that helps. Thanks, you're the best Todoroki. Mina said. It's nothing, Shoto said, then felt a quick tap on his back. He turned to see a somewhat shy Flurry. I tried on my own but. Flurry twiddled her feet. Can I have your help too? I'd be happy to, Shoto said. Flurry could swear she saw him earnestly smile. Thanks Shoto, Flurry said. Come on, quickly please. Time passed, and all the curry was done, though messy looking. The kids still wasted no time eating it, they were too hungry to care. If a restaurant served me this CRP I'd want a refund, but after today I'll eat anything. Kirishima said as he chowed down. Don't say that dude, Siro said. Mina took note of Momo's eating. Wow, you're really scarfing that down, huh Momo? My quirk turns tidbits into atoms that create inorganic materials, so the more I eat the more I can make, Momo said. Sounds like your quirk is the equivalent to taking a dump, Rina commented, Momo immediately feeling dejected. Ha! Good one Rina. Mayday said, high-fiving her friend. Don't compliment her. She should apologize. Jiro said. Make me. Rina taunted. Ahem. Remy got their attention. Rina, say sorry. You're joking right? Rina asked. Remy's glare was enough of an answer for the young girl. Fine, sorry girl who turns food into stuff. That was a terrible apology, Remy said. Still better than nothing, just please try to show some respect, you all classmates and you all in this together, act like comrades in arms. If there was a big fight then you'd all need to be able to trust and depend on each other, treat each day like it's a moment like that. Also Mayday, don't encourage bad behavior, that girl is your classmate, you should respect your peers, Applejack said. Asking too much lady, Mayday Parker is the biggest brat in our grade, aside from Bakugou that is, Jiro felt. Remember to be nice, or your daddy's gonna find out young lady, Remy warned. Mayday shrugged it off, fine, I mean I was just joking. Think of that as a trust thing, we can rag on each other and trust that we'll take it in stride. She's so full of it, Kirishima felt. Amazing that such a wholesome person like Spiderman could have a daughter who's so unapproachable, doesn't help that she has a friend who's just as bad, Momo felt. The creation girl felt a hand on her back, she turned to see Flurry. The girl giving off some positive vibes. Your quirk's neat, don't let it get to you. Right, thanks, Momo said. At least Flurry's such a nice girl. Kota. Mandalay called. It's dinner time, where are you? Kota's not here. Remy asked. Want me to go get him? If you would Gambit, Mandalay asked. As Remy was about to set off, Izuku called out to him, I think I saw him. Remy turned to Izuku, you did, mind pointing where? If I tell you, could I come? Izuku asked. I kind of want to talk to him, he seems to be bothered and I want to help. That's nice of you kid, you show me where he is and I'll let you work your magic, Remy said. Right, but first. Izuku had one little thing to do first. Later on at a rock place far from the village, Kota, whose stomach was rumbling, was staring at the moon. Wow, you really sound hungry, Izuku said, getting Kota's attention as he and Gambit made their way over. I brought you some curry. How'd you find this place? Kota asked. Did my aunt tell you Gambit? Easy bud, we come in peace, Remy reassured. Izuku here just wanted to check on you, and I had to find you for Mandalay, girls worried for you. Doesn't mean you had to go and tell anyone. Kota said. How dare you dash? Hold on, Gambit didn't tell me, he didn't know until now, I just followed your footsteps, Izuku said. I thought you might want dinner before it got too cold. Pfft, I'm fine, I don't need you, now buzz off, both of you, Kota said. I swear kids are getting worse and worse by the generation, Remy said. Still your aunt would want you to eat, at least do it for her. Ugh fine, I'll take the food then, just get out of my secret hideout, Kota said. Oh, this is a secret hideout? Izuku asked. Honestly, wasting your time trying to improve your quirk, it's so stupid. Kota said. Bunch of show-offs. Now get lost. Remy pat Izuku on the shoulder a bit, maybe we should leave, he don't want to be bothered right now, we don't want to upset him. Kids go through this stuff, I should know since I have two of my own, he'll come around. First I gotta ask him something, Izuku said. Hey Kota, were your parents the water hose heroes? Kota glared at Gambit, now you told him about my parents. Or was it Mandalay? Wait, it wasn't Gambit or Mandalay. Izuku insisted. It's just that, I kind of overheard what happened, I remember reading about it a few years ago. Kota turned away from the two, just go, I swear you're all crazy. Heroes, villains, both sides killing each other because of some stupid titles. Stuff about quirks. If they hadn't been showing off they'd still be here. Idiots. So, he hates quirks more so than he hates heroes and this superhuman society, Izuku theorized. Why are you still here? Go away. Kota shouted. Something about this kid feels familiar. Remy tried getting Izuku to move again. Come on kid. Not yet, Izuku said, focusing back on the young boy in front of him. Why won't you go? Aren't heroes supposed to follow orders? You're being given an order to leave by a pro hero, the same thing you admire so much. Kota said. I just wanted to tell you, this guy I know, he didn't inherit any quirks, Izuku began. Huh? Kota asked. It's really uncommon these days, that I know, Izuku began. He admired heroes and wanted to be one, but you usually can't become a hero unless you have a quirk, or $1 million corporation, but that's even more uncommon than being quirkless. My friend still refused to accept that, and hoped for a miracle. This should be an interesting story, Remy felt. Izuku remembered being a young boy, trying to see if he had any of his parents' quirks. He tried to use telekinesis, and to breath fire. But it was all futile in the end. There's lots of different ways to think about how quirks work, but if you reject them completely, it makes life harder. Just go already. I don't care what you have to say, just go. Kota shouted. I'm sorry, I just ramble on occasion, Izuku said. We'll leave the curry. Izuku had placed the food down, going back with Remy. Before leaving, the Cajun hero had his own bit of advice, I know you're hurting kid, but don't push away the people who care. You're not alone in this world. Whatever. Kota said, Remy taking that as his cue to leave with Izuku. All of you are such idiots. Izuku walked back to camp, a lot on his mind. Hey Gambit, did you think I was too pushy? No, you just wanted to help, Remy said. But sometimes people don't want to listen, especially kids. It takes a while to get through to them, you just gotta mind your boundaries and make sure you don't cross any lines. Sometimes it's strong to tell though, while I probably would have left with a few words, I still think you made the right call. Alright. Izuku said. Also, that story you told, the friend you mentioned, that's you ain't it? Remy asked. How could you tell? Izuku asked. Peter and Twilight told me a lot about you, they said you were quirkless until earlier this year, but you still wanted to be a hero, Remy said. With your drive, you could have become a hero without a quirk, or millions of dollars. Just get some training and go out to fight baddies, or at least find yourself a decent partner. Robin didn't start off rich, he just had Batman as his mentor. Granted there's more to it than that, but you'd have to talk to them directly. But honestly, if there's a will, there's a way. I guess so, it was strong being quirkless though, felt like I didn't fit in, Izuku said. Everyone else was so lucky to have a power. Not everyone feels that way, Remy said. One of the X-Men, she told me she hated her quirk, because it never allowed her to have a normal life. If she accidentally touched someone, she could risk seriously hurting them, or worse. That sounds familiar, are you talking about Rogue? Izuku asked. I see you know your X-Men, Remy praised. Before I got with Applejack, I actually used to flirt with her a lot, trying to get her to embrace me. Not to tease her, but just to make her feel like a normal girl. She told me if she could, she'd rather be quirkless, at least she could hug someone without endangering their life. Never thought of it that way, Izuku said. To have a quirk, but it being more of a curse than a gift. She wasn't the only one who felt that way, Remy said. Other X-Men had similar troubles. Some of them have quirks that make them look like monsters, such as Nightcrawler and Beast, two good friends of mine. Me, I used to accidentally make things explode, even beyond that most kids didn't like being around me because my eyes looked scary to them. I'm sorry to hear that Gambit, Izuku said. Personally, I think you look really cool though, and I'm glad you found your purpose, and used your quirk to be a hero. You can call me Remy, the hero said. And I'm happy you feel that way, truth be told, I wasn't always a hero. I used to be a thief. Huh? Izuku asked. That's weird, when I read about your feats, I don't recall seeing that. It don't get talked about much, government don't want people to know a hero used to be a villain, even if it's not uncommon, I've seen villains turn into heroes, so I wasn't alone, Remy said. Over time I realized that crime didn't pay, thankfully I got my second chance in the X-Men, and since then I've made lots of good friends, and I married a lovely woman and had 2 appealing children. That's incredible, Izuku said. Well, I'm happy for you, Applejack seems like a really nice lady. Yes, she's also very dependable, honest too, Remy said. That is her element after all, honesty. Element? Right, I think I heard Flurry mention that to us. Twilight is magic, Rainbow Dash is loyalty, Pinkie Pie is laughter, Fluttershy is kindness, and so Applejack is honesty, Izuku said. Exactly, sounds like you met most of them, all that's left is Rarity, who represents generosity, Remy said. You'd like her, she's very nice, but a bit too obsessed with fashion. Is she a pro? Izuku asked. No, not exactly, Remy said. She doesn't like fighting, even though she has a black belt in karate. But she only took classes for self-defense purposes. What type of quirk does he have exactly? Izuku asked. Magic, and she got a lucky one, Rarity said. She's great at locating gems, it was her natural innate talent. So magic types are limited to what they can do? Izuku asked. Sort of, when one is gifted with magic, they can use it for any type of specialty reason, some specialize in transportation, some specialize in levitation, some can even use it for music, Remy explained. Flurry, as you know, can use it for love, just like her mom does. But the truly talented magic users, like Twilight Sparkle and Doctor Strange, can use their gifts for just about anything. That's so amazing, Izuku said. To have magic as a type of quirk. Again, it's amazing to some, to others it can be a burden, Remy said. You know the founding members of the Teen Titans? Of course, Izuku said. There's Robin, the boy wonder who later grew up to be Nightwing. Then there's Cyborg, half man, half machine. Starfire, the warrior princess of planet Tamran. Beast Boy, the transforming hero, and Raven, the magic user of the group. Her magic is said to be a bit strong to control, at least that's what she's told Twilight, Remy said. She felt like her powers were a curse, just like Rogue, especially if you knew the dark secret to her powers, and her original plans for those powers. Original plans? Izuku asked. I could tell you more, but it's better to ask Twilight first. I probably shouldn't have said anything, it's supposed to be a secret, but you seem like a trustworthy kid. Peter told me that All Might has taken quite a liking to you, even going as far as to train you. I mean, you're one of the few that knows about his weakened state, not a lot of pros know. Technically I shouldn't know, I'm not a high-ranking hero, but my wife, she ain't good at keeping secrets. Poor girl can't tell a lie to save her life, which is good mind you, but again, that can sometime be a curse. Oh wow, Izuku said. Never thought of honesty as a curse. Maybe curse is too strong a word, she's just too forward, you know the saying, the truth hurts. Remy said. For Applejack, it definitely hurts. Yeah, the truth can hurt. Izuku said, recalling what he was told by the doctor at a young age. Of course Izuku know that facing the truth is strong for a lot of people. Well, thanks for telling me so much, and thanks for trusting me. It's nothing, like I said before, All Might trust you and he don't let too many people in, Remy said. There's a lot me and my friend are willing to tell you if you're ever curious, wanna know more about Raven, talk to Twilight, wanna know more about the X-Men, talk to Wolverine. I don't know if I can ever talk to him, I mean his daughter is scary enough, Izuku said. Hey, I know he looks scary at first glance, but he's really nice once you get to know him, Remy said. One of your classmates got to mentor with him, she seemed like he was scary. Well, no, Azui seemed to really like him, Izuku said. Logan's got a soft spot for kids, Remy said. Besides, most of what makes Rina scary actually comes from her mother. Fluttershy is sweet, but when she's mad, well, never make the nice ones angry, usually they're the ones holding it all in. You ever see Spiderman when he's angry? I can't imagine that, Izuku said. Good, I've seen him when he's really mad, he puts the Hulk to shame, Remy said. But he's usually good at keeping his emotions in check, or he has his friends. Remember what my wife and her friends would say, friendship is magic. Friendship is magic. Izuku thought about the saying. He has to admit, since making friends, he felt like his life has really turned around, and he feels more confident in his pursuit to being a hero. Think friendship can help Kota? It can help anyone, if they're willing to accept it, Remy said, then looked ahead. There's the camp. I should meet with my class, Izuku said, going ahead. Thanks again for telling me all this stuff. You got it, Remy said, Izuku running toward his friends. What a good kid, gonna make a great hero someday. Elsewhere in the mountainous region, Toga was seen strapping a mask on her face, one she did not seem to care for. This is so not cute, can't I get something better? No, besides these were engineered from the black market, worry more out at working rather than it being pretty, a nearby villain said. Still, it couldn't hurt to be more stylish. Toga complained. Hi darlings, a big brutish-looking villain said, arriving with a couple of other villains. Sorry to keep you waiting. That makes 7 right now, Dabi said. Fine, just let me loose, I'm too pumped up right now, a cloaked villain said. Will you can it you crazy bstrd, we're still expecting at least 3 more locals, plus our guests from New York, Dobby said. That would be us, came a villain flying in, being joined by 2 others, one resembling a scorpion and the other a rhino. So, this who we're working with? Not what I was expecting. Get used to it, Vulture, besides you want your revenge on Spider-Man, don't you? We'll leave his daughter to you, just don't forget the next part of our mission, Dobby said. I got the details, my comrades and I will do our part, Vulture said, ready to get to work. Still, are you sure these others are any good? They're the best this country has to offer, Dobby said. While the USJ had a bunch of random thugs with no experience, this group is full of elites. We'll get the job done. First, we gotta take away their sense of peace until they realize they are completely at our mercy. The following morning, the 5 remedial 1A students were training closely with Aizawa. Stay focused, all of you. Sorry sir, Zero said. We're just so tired, Mina whined. To think our extra lessons lasted until 2 a.m. Mineta lamented. And start back up at 7. Kaminari complained. I warned you it'd be tough, Aizawa said, Ragdoll looking on and smiling at their misfortune. Remember, this isn't just about improving quirks, you're also working on your weaknesses from the finals. Give us a break, Rainbow Dash cheated, Kaminari said. Even the Human Torch went a bit overboard, Zero said. You really think a villain would be any better? A hero must be prepared and you 5 were not, Aizawa said. Think about why you're more tired than the others instead of whining and complaining, you have a lot to improve. Yes sir, the 5 said. Aizawa turned to 2 other students not too far away, Uraraka. Aoyama. You better train too. You didn't fail but you also barely passed. If Simon too hadn't dropped her guard for whatever reason she did, you would be among these 5 students. Was it really that bad? Ochako asked herself. Aizawa turned to the rest of the students, each of you stay focused, move faster, and always remember your starting points. Remember who you were before UA. Hi. Remember why you're sweating, and why you're being pushed to your limits. Mr. Aizawa, that reminds me of something, Izuku said. Didn't I just tell you to stay focused? Aizawa said, jumping down to Izuku's location. Sorry but, it's just that this is our 3rd day here, is All Might or any of the other UA teachers coming? Izuku asked. Or even the pros who helped with the practical? First off, remember that Spider-Man and the others are not UA faculty, Gambit and Applejack are the only guest instructors, Aizawa said. Plus we're trying to keep this place secret from the villains, that includes keeping knowledge of this place limited to a select few. That's why you work out with us pussycats. Ragdoll shouted. And us apple farmers. Applejack called. Also remember, All might be one of the League's targets, plus Spider-Man might be drawing a bit of attention too, having either one here is too dangerous, Aizawa said. It's to protect you kids. For better or worse, that's what they get for standing out so much. Seems like it's for worse, Izuku theorized. So All Might won't be here to help. That's too bad, I kind of also wish Spider-Man and Twilight were here too, I thought one or both could have given me some pointers. Izuku. Mayday called. Hurry back, you'll get in trouble if you're not working out. Right. Izuku said, returning to Mayday. Oh meow, 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 Pixie Bob purred. I have an announcement, we're pitting classes against each other tonight in a test of courage. You're training strong today, but later you'll play strong. Isn't that fun? It just sounds like more training, Kendo lamented. Training in the dark too, Jiro complained. Oh don't be pansies, Rina said. I'm looking forward to getting my claws on Class A, and my claws are a bit sharper than the ones belonging to those kitties. Tokoyami had overheard from his cave, rivalry in the dark. Class A versus Class B, sounds fun, Franklin lamented. Hope it's not a disaster. It'll be fun. Flurry said. All of us together, getting to know our fellow students. Not wrong, Franklin said, then noticed Tsuyu climbing overhead. Hi Tsu. Great form. Franklin. Tsuyu looked down at Franklin and suddenly lost balance. Rib bit. Hey, watch out. Kirishima called, though before anyone could act, Franklin had quickly rushed in to catch her. Got you. Franklin had successfully caught the frog girl in his arms. Are you alright, Tsu? I'm fine, Tsu said, feeling very embarrassed as Franklin had set her down gently, much to Tsuyu's relief. She appreciated the help, but it was a bit embarrassing for her. Thanks. All in a day's work for an aspiring pro, Franklin said, nervously laughing, feeling a bit awkward himself. Embrace. Rina shouted, getting a glare from Franklin and a blush from Tsuyu. That's not funny. Franklin shouted at his friend. Enough. Mandalay called. Great work, Franklin, that was a good reaction, for now let's keep honing that skill. Yes ma'am, Franklin said, then turned to Tsuyu, waving at her. See you later, Tsu. Bye Franklin, and thanks again, Tsuyu said as the boy made his way back to his instructor. Such a nice boy, with a strange taste in friends. Nearby Bakugou was working on his explosions, trying to really pack a punch with them while Remy observed his progress. You got power, but you gotta work on your form and precision, Remy said. Precision? I just gotta increase my radius, then I won't have to worry about missing, Bakugou said. Nothing wrong with that too, but options help, Remy said. Consider the air around you, what would be affected more from a blast, knowing this can not only help you in a fight, but be more aware of what could be used against you. The smartest of villains know how to use an hero's power against them if that hero is careless. Do not be a careless hero. Bakugou did remember how this affected him during the battle exercise months back against Izuku, Flurry and Ochako. He caused so much damage that it nearly caused his team to be disqualified. What do you suggest then? Bakugou asked. Target practice, Remy said, gesturing to some faraway rocks. Try to hit those rocks without destroying too much of the area around them. How do you expect that to go down? Bakugou asked. Explosions cover big areas. Yes, depending on his size, Remy picked up a tiny pebble. Which is why you need control. He charged it up and tossed it at a rock, causing a moderately sized explosion that took out its target. Good when you want to avoid collateral damage. Bakugou would not admit it, but he was slightly impressed. Of course he wants to do better. Alright, stand aside Gambit, the rest are mine. Bakugou spent the rest of his training trying to work on his skills, Remy looking almost impressed. The boy is talented, but that means nothing without the proper guidance. Later in the evening, the students were again preparing their meal, Ochako amazed by Bakugou's culinary skills. Wow Bakugou, you're so talented. So weird. Weird. It's not that strong. You people are just bad at everything. Bakugou shouted. Franklin gestured to the boy, does he always shout like that? Really annoying, isn't it? Mayday asked, then gestured to Monama. But it seems like you have your own loud mouth in that Monama guy. Might be a lack of confidence from the both of them. My mom used to tell Uncle Johnny that confidence is silent, Franklin said. I can hear you, nerd boy. Bakugou shouted. Nerd boy? Franklin asked. He has trouble remembering names, so he comes up with nicknames, Mayday said. Honestly, I can name on one hand any time he's called one of us by our actual name. Can it, web girl? Bakugou shouted. You catch more flies with honey than vinegar, Franklin said, getting a confused look from Bakugou. Why would I want to catch flies? Bakugou asked. Just go back to your class of losers. We're the losers. You're the one insulting everyone to satisfy your ego. I'd say you're the biggest loser in that regard. Franklin shouted. Big mistake, Bakugou looked pretty mad. He turned his attention to Franklin, readying some explosions. What the hell did you just say? Mayday thought about shielding Franklin, but if she knew her friend, Bakugou would be the one who needed protecting once Franklin got serious. Fortunately Applejack had stepped in between the two. I don't want any fighting, Franklin, go to your seat and don't mind this boy. As for you Katsuki, maybe you should dash. What did you just call me? Bakugou asked. Katsuki, that's your name ain't it? Applejack quickly checked her pad. Yeah, says it right here, Katsuki, Bakugou. It's pronounced Katsuki, Bakugou said. Huh. Applejack looked over the name. While they were spelt with Japanese kanji, the English phonetic letters were placed next to them, and Applejack could see a U. That ain't what it says here. Come on lady. Even your husband called me by my name properly before. Don't tell me you're that bad with names. Bakugou shouted. How hypocritical, Franklin observed. Lower your voice, Applejack warned, her cold stare shutting Bakugou up. Look, my point stands, everyone stop fighting over trivial stuff, and let's try to coexist in harmony. Also, Katsuki, maybe try to handle constructive criticism with stride. Bakugou turned away, focused back on his chopping, feeling much more speedy and aggressive. Everyone felt fortunate that Bakugou didn't get too angry, or there might have been a fight break out. Nearby Izuku was gathering some firewood. That's when Shoto had approached him with some water. Did you need All Might for any reason? I heard you mention him to Mr. Aizawa. Yeah, mostly for Kota, Izuku said. Who's Kota? Shoto asked. You know, the boy who's around here, Izuku said, trying to find him. Huh? Where is he? If you're looking for Kota, he left, Remy said, getting Izuku's attention. We both know where he is, so we know he's safe. Right, his hideout. Izuku looked a bit sad. Really doesn't like being around anyone. You alright Izuku? Remy asked. I'm fine, I'm just. Izuku felt conflicted. Gambit, who is this boy? Shoto asked. Mandalay's nephew, Remy said. Izuku tried talking to him yesterday. He was bothered by us for training to be heroes. Izuku said. Actually it's more than that, he doesn't like superhuman society in general. I don't think I got through to him. I was wondering what All Might would do. Honestly I'm curious as to how Spider-Man would handle it. He seems really good with kids. He is, kids love Peter, my kids love him for sure. Applejack's little sister idolized him, same with her two friends, Remy said. Say Todoroki, what would you do? Izuku asked. How would you get through to him? It depends, having a complete stranger trying to change your mindset can be irritating, Shoto said. Yeah, you're right, sorry I asked, Izuku said, feeling regretful. I think he has more to say, Remy said. What matters is action, because words alone won't amount to much, Shoto said. Unless you can come up with a very convincing speech, it's what you do that will matter more than what you say. Sometimes people need deeds more than words, Remy said. Izuku nodded, you're both right, I went about this the wrong way. I mean, what can a stranger really say to him? I don't know what your goal is with this kid, but you probably shouldn't be too involving, Shoto said. You have a tendency to cut to the heart of people's feelings. It can be a pain. Right, sorry about that, Izuku said, remembering the sports festival. Guess you were right, Remy. Your heart's in the right place. Remy then took the moment to talk to the boy beside Izuku, been meaning to ask, you're Shoto Todoroki, Endeavor's son. Yeah, that's me, Shoto said. You got talent Mon Ami, most people with either fire or ice struggle, I should know since I've known Human Torch and Iceman for years, Remy said. But you, man, you're a beast. Not only do you have good control, the fact that you can control both elements like that, that's something else. Thank you, though I do have trouble with my fire, I'm not used to using it, and I still can't use both at once, Shoto said. I'd give it a year or two before you can use both at once, Remy said. That's just my opinion. I appreciate your encouragement, Shoto said. Me and the wife saw you two fighting at the festival, Remy said, gesturing to Applejack, who seemed to be talking with Ochako. She was pretty moved by how Izuku reached out to you. One key component to being a hero is being honest with others, and yourself. Seems like you've gotten much better. I hope so, Shoto said, looking to his left hand. Midoriya. Todoroki. Tenya called. Your hands aren't moving, how can we make the best stew without total team effort? Hop to it y'all. Applejack said. Yes ma'am, Izuku and Shoto said. Later on at night, the students gathered in the middle of a forest where Pixie Bob got their attention. Alright kiddies, you've filled your bellies and cleaned the dishes. It's time for a totally awesome test of courage. Mina cheered. We're gonna win, the other remedial students cheered. Not so fast, strong as this is, the remedial classes will be having lessons with me tonight instead, Aizawa said. Mina's eyes practically popped out of her head, you've gotta be kidding me. Aizawa wrapped them all up in his scarf, your training today was lackluster, so I'll be using this time to train you. But we want to test our courage too. Kamnari said. What if the girls get scared without me around? Mineta said. Can't you cut them a break eraser? Applejack suggested. One night's not gonna hurt, and they did their best today, that should count fair something. We love you Applejack, the 5 students said. Yeah no, they're coming with me, Aizawa said, getting a dejected sigh from the kids. Have it your way then, Applejack said, still not too sure about Aizawa's methods. Seems like a bit much though. You do things your way at your school and I'll do them mine, Aizawa said, dragging the students off. Applejack shook her head in shame, that guy, sometimes you gotta let kids be kids, work them too strong and they'll have difficulty balancing their lives. That's hero life I'm afraid, Pixie Bob said. All work and very little play. Really? So you putting these kids through these trials and laughing about their pain is work to ya? Applejack asked. Gee, must be a terrible job. It absolutely is. Ragdoll said in an unusually cheery way. So, here's how it's gonna work, Pixie Bob said. Class B will be our scarers, and every 6 minutes 2 Class A students will walk through the path. There are tags with your name on them on the far ends of the routes, your goal is to collect them. Revelry in the dark, Tokoyami said. Why does he keep saying that? Ochako nervously wondered. The scarers are not allowed to make physical contact, use your quirks to terrify the others. Pixie Bob said. The winners will be the most creative students who make their fellow trainees PSS themselves. Tiger said. Was that visual really needed? Jiro wondered. I see, this is to slide our imagination and make our quirks more useful in the process. Tenya stated. As expected of UA. Everyone draw to see who your partner will be. Pixie Bob said. Izuku drew from his list and got the number 9, wait there are teams of 2, our class has 22 students, and 5 in extra lessons then, team 1, he looked to Tokoyami and Shuji. 2. Bakugou and Mayday. 3. Jiro and Toru. 4. Momo and Aoyama. 5. Ochako and Tsuyu. 6. Ujiro and Kirishima. 7. Tenya and Kota. 8. Shoto and Flurry. 9. Izuku was alone, much to his worry. Wait, I gotta count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Izuku had a terrible realization. I'm all alone. It was randomly assigned, no one bailed on you, Ujiro said, hoping to ease the boy's worries. Hey! Tail! Bakugou said, getting Ujiro's attention. SWCH with me. Hey, if you want I can ask Shoto to SWCH so I can be with Flurry, Mayday said. No way. Icy Hot's just as bad as you or Deku. Bakugou shouted. Then I'll SWCH with Izuku and you can head in there alone. Mayday shouted. Sorry, no switching. Pixie Bob said. All teams are final. Hold on now, I don't think that boy should be by himself, Applejack said. Maybe I can partner with him. You know the rules, instructors can't help, Pixie Bob said. That boy's gonna be in the dark all by himself without any friends. Ragdoll teased. Do you enjoy messing with these kids? Remy asked. Look, it's a bit dangerous and everyone should have a partner. Wow, you're overly worried, can't baby heroes, Ragdoll said. Has someone in life hurt you or something? Remy asked, getting a bit frustrated by Ragdoll's seemingly sadistic nature. Look, no, you're all comfortable with this and you see these kids as heroes in training. But as a mother of two and an older sister who was a sort of guardian to her little sister, I can't fully condone seeing a kid alone in the forest, Applejack said. She ain't gonna let up on this, Remy said. Applejack has had terrible experiences with forests, being next to a dangerously magical forest back home, plus the time her little sister nearly got killed because she went into a forest by herself. I'll fight y'all if I have to, Applejack warned. Alright, if it'll make you stop worrying, Pixie Bob said. This is a team-based activity anyway so he can pick a Class B student, they're one short anyway so this evens out both sides. Good, how do we decide? Applejack asked. One draw straw competition later. Rina had placed her arm around Izuku. Hello partner, we're gonna have fun. Why does that make me worried? Izuku wondered. Yo Rina. Don't try anything stupid. Mayday said. Is this your boyfriend? Afraid I'll steal him? Rina asked, bringing Izuku closer, then whispering into his ear. Would it be cool if I rubbed your butt? Really wanna make Mayday jealous but I also want to respect your boundaries. Ha! Izuku asked. Rina, I'm serious, you do anything stupid and I'll PND the CRP out of you. Mayday said. Come and get me. Rina taunted, hugging Izuku tight. Don't be surprised if we start making out under the moonlight. Alright, that's enough, Applejack said. Rina, you cut that out or we'll just let Setsuna, the girl corrected. What she said, we'll send her off with Izuku, now stop agitating Mayday, and ease up on the contact, that boy looks as uncomfortable as a pig in a chicken coop. Applejack said. A pig in a what? Ochako asked. Auntie Applejack is known for her countryisms, Flurry said. She comes up with unique and funny phrases. Now then, let's hop to this. Applejack said. Revelry in the dark, Tokoyami said. That boy's said that like a dozen times, should we be worried? Gambit wondered. 12 minutes had passed, there were already screams in the forest. Ragdoll introduced the next order, alright. Next up is Team 5. Ochako and Tsuyu started making their way through the forest, the former looking quite uncomfortable. I'm getting scared, and those screams aren't helping. I think that's Toru and Kyoka, you can take my hand if you want, Tsuyu said, holding her hand out. Don't be afraid, we'll look out for each other. Nearby Franklin had spotted the girls walking by, he could try to scare them like he did with the other teams but he couldn't bring himself to do that to Tsuyu, rather he just let them pass. Though he was a bit concerned and kept an eye out for her, making sure she wasn't too frightened. Up ahead, Juzo was seen laughing his head off. Great job Kodai, you've scared everyone so far. Yeah, you're amazing, Kendo said. Did you see the look on the faces of Parker and Bakugou? Juzo asked, remembering the two walking and seeing the girl's head pop out of the ground. Both of them were immediately spooked. It's a miracle Mayday didn't kick the girl in the face. So much for them being tough. Hey! Smell that? Kendo asked. I think something is burning nearby. Yeah, it's getting smoky, Juzo said. Maybe Todoroki's coming or... Suddenly he fell unconscious. Hananuki! Kendo shouted in worry. Yui! Don't breath in. Kendo grabbed her friend. This smoke is poisonous. Pixie Bob had detected the aroma from her position. What's this foul smell? Hey, look ahead, Remy said. Smoke. Has something been set ablaze? Tenya asked. A mountain fire perhaps? From the distance, Dobby was indeed burning the forest. Now it begins. Pixie Bob found herself being pulled away, much to her confusion, and the worry of the others. Take them down, the villains remembering Dobby's orders. Those who believe themselves to be heroes, we, the vanguard action squad of the League of Villains, will tear them off their pedestals. Nearby Pixie Bob was knocked out, having taken a big blow to the head. First let's take care of these feral cats. This can't be real. Flurry said, looking rather concerned. I thought this place was secluded. Pixie Bob. Izuku ran to help but Applejack stood in his way. Don't. It's not safe. Applejack warned. But. Izuku couldn't just stand there, but he wouldn't defy an instructor. As he looked around a thought occurred to him. Kota. Sitting alone on a cliffside over a cave, the young boy Kota Izumi started thinking of the words from his Aunt Mandalay. Trust me Kota, it will happen. You'll meet someone and finally understand why we do what we do. Someone who will risk their life, put others first. Kota wiped his eyes, angrily eyeing the forest. As if anyone like that really exists. That's when he noticed the fire in the distance, but unbeknownst to him, a villain was not too far away. Also earlier, Aizawa is seen bringing his students to the remedial room where they would be taking extra lessons, not without the drama though, as he had his students wrapped up in his scarf. I wanted to face off against the other students, Mina whined. I wanted to team with a pretty girl in the forest, Mineta said. Some reward Pixie Bob promised, no fair, Kaminari said. I wish Applejack were in charge. This close to tightening your binding, Aizawa warned as he led them into a building. Tonight is about responding to emergencies. If you don't become more aware of your lack of progress, then you'll just get worse over time. So this chance to catch up is your reward. What a lame thing to say, Kaminari whined. They opened the door to a room where Monama was waiting. Oh my. Who do we have here? 5 of Class A's failures. Meanwhile only one person from Class B failed. Yeah. You. Freaking moron. Kaminari shouted. What a pain, Mina whined. Though he is a bit crazy, I'm starting to worry. At least he's not as dangerous as Howlett, Sato said. Really don't want a part of that family for as long as I live. Vlad, I was thinking of practice maneuvers, Aizawa suggested. Good idea, we should pair them up, Vlad King suggested. Suddenly they all heard Mandalay's voice, everyone. Mandalay's telepath? Zero asked. Kind of weird that she could talk to us like this, Mina said. Well, the guy who founded the X-Men can do this too, seems like a handy quirk, Zero said. Too bad it only works in one direction, Kaminari said. Be quiet a moment, Aizawa ordered as he listened to the cat hero. 2 villains just attacked, more are probably coming, Mandalay said. Everyone return to camp immediately, we're regrouping. Do not engage at all. I'll look after the other students, Aizawa said to Vlad King as he ran off. Protect them. He ran outside, seeing all the fire. If it's a full-scaled attack, we might be in a quandary. You're distracted, Dobby said, placing his hand near Aizawa and blasting him. You pros need to lay off. Back at the start of the path, two villains stood triumphantly over Pixie Bob. One villain, a lizard man dressed like Stain, introduced the group. "How are you UA students? We are of the Vanguard Action Squad of the League of Villains." "League of Villains? Again?" Ujiro asked. "I might just crush this kitty's head," the other villain said. "Should I?" "You get away from her," Tiger warned. "Hold on now big sis Mag, you too Tiger," the lizard said. "Wait, is that a woman?" Remy wondered as he stared toward Magna. "Remember, we're abiding by Stain's principles if whether or not someone should live or die," the lizard man said. "Wait, Stain?" Flurry asked. "That explains the outfit. So you're the creeps he ended up inspiring," Tenya said. "At your service," the lizard man said. "Actually, Four Eyes, I believe you're one of the brats who attacked Stain in Hosu. So let me introduce myself." He brought out a massive sword that looked compiled of various sharp objects. "Call me Spinner, I am going to make Stain's dream a reality." "Stain's that guy who attacked heroes, right?" Remy asked. "Including you, Flurry?" "Yeah, he's a real monster, hides behind his villainous act with talks of justice," Flurry said. "One of those philosophical types, like Magneto and Apocalypse, huh?" Remy said, having his staff ready. "Just say the word Mandalay, I'll deal this poser a hand he can't come back from." "I don't care who you are, you criminals," Tiger said. "The woman lying there is called Pixie Bob, a pro who's saved many lives. She's doing her best to help these young heroes to be the best possible. She's looking for a mate, but otherwise she's content." Tiger unleashed his claws. "You have to right to cut a hero's happy life short. It's not a hero's job to be happy," Spinner sadistically insisted. "Tiger, I relayed the message, let's trust the safety of the students to Ragdoll, the rest of us will stay here," Mandalay said, then turned to Tenya. "I'm putting you in charge, class rep, don't engage with the villains." "I'm on it," Tenya said, then gestured to his class. "This way." "Wait. Go on without me," Izuku said. "Huh? What are you saying, Midoriya?" Tenya asked. "Mandalay." Izuku called to the cat hero leader. "I know where Kota is." "Kota?" Remy remembered the boy, he knows he's somewhere out there. "Oh no. I'll go save him." Izuku activated his full cowling and ran off despite the protests. "Damn it. Hold up, Izuku." Remy ran to pursue him. "Kids fast." Suddenly a screen caught everyone's attention. Right nearby, Flurry was lifted off the ground by a villain with metallic wings. "Flurry!" Applejack shouted in worry. "Wait, who's that?" Ujiro asked. Remy squinted his eyes. "Is that Vulture?" Indeed, the villain Adrian Toombs, better known as the Vulture, had swooped in and grabbed Flurry. "I remember you, you're Spider-Man's niece. I was hoping to find his daughter, but you'll make a nice ransom yourself. You varmint. Give her back." Applejack rushed in, ready to use her lasso, but Spinner got in her way, slamming his sword down that she quickly dodged. This gave Vulture enough time to fly off. "No. I'll go save her," Remy shouted, pursuing the Vulture. "Izuku will be fine. I hope. I just gotta save Flurry. He's gonna need my help," Shoto said, readying his fire as he ran off. "Hold on. Hey, Mandalay just said not to engage the villains," Applejack shouted. "Shoto. Applejack, what should we do?" Tenya asked. "You listen to Mandalay and get to camp," Applejack ordered. "Remy, better act fast. Still, if Vulture is here, then who else is?" "Let's go everyone," Tenya said, looking around. "Wait, where's Rena Howlett?" Back in the forest, Kendo is still running through the mist, using her quirk to keep her two classmates safe from the mist. As she ran, she heard her name called. Kendo. Tetsu. She turned to see the steel-powered boy holding an unconscious Ibra Shoizaki. And you have Ibra. But where'd you get those masks? Yayorozu from Class A, Tetsu explained. Awaze is taking her to the rest of her class so she can help them too, but I got a couple for you to use. Thanks, Kendo said, grabbing a mask for herself and her classmates. We gotta get back to camp fast and get away from the villains. You do that if you want, I'm going to fight, Tetsu said. Wait, you can't do that, we were given an order to retreat. Kendo reminded. Look, you know how Monama annoys you because of how he rants on Class A? Tetsu asked. Annoying as it might be, you know deep down he has a point. We all got into UA through the same exam, and we have the same curriculum, yet they're better for one reason. They've had their share of battles against real villains, so many chances to prove themselves. Where is this coming from? Kendo asked. Was it the sports festival? It's beyond that, Class A is so much more gifted they got a bunch of well-known pros to personally test their abilities, Tetsu said. Me and Kirishima both trained at Capsule Corp, we both went through hellish training with Vegeta, yet he was the one who got to test his power against Wolverine, something I can't say I nor anyone in our class can say we did, not even close. Besides, can we really call ourselves heroes if we ran from a fight against villains? I understand, but now isn't the time. Kendo said. Then when is the time? Kendo, we need to make the time right now. Tetsu said, activating his steel. We're hero course students, this is our duty. And right now, I'm going to show those villains what we're made of. Elsewhere, Mandalay is again trying to reach out, this time to her nephew, Kota. If you can hear my voice, please come back to camp. I can't get you right now. I don't know where you are, please forgive me. Just get back home. Meanwhile, Kota is seen backing away from a hooded villain. I came here for a good vantage point, and here I find someone not on the list. You got a nice hat though, kid, wanna trade for this lame mask of mine? I had to wear it because I'm new, no shipment of the good ones. Kota just ran off crying in fear, the man jumping in front as his arm got covered in a type of muscle tissue. Let's have a little fun here, kid. Kota's eyes widened in fear once the villain's mask came off, recognizing him from a report he saw as a kid about the deaths of his parents. No. It's you. The villain indeed resembled the one he saw back when the reports revealed his face and explained a battle damage he received. This was indeed the villain that had killed his parents, the villain known as Muscular. Just as the villain attacked, a green flash passed by and grabbed Kota out of the way, taking the hit for him. The flash being Izuku had fell strong, dropping his phone and tried to catch his breath. What are you doing here? Kota asked. The villain in question recognized Izuku. I recognize you, yeah, you're actually on the list. I didn't think there'd be a villain here, I just came to get Kota to safety. Izuku noticed his damaged phone. Looks like I can't call for help. No one else knows where I went, except Gambit, he knows where Kota goes too. But I can't wait for him to come, I have to hold this villain off by myself for now. Izuku looked to Kota, the boy crying in fear. It might be strong trying to stop this guy and protect Kota. No, I can't think that way. I gotta do this. Izuku turned to Kota. I promise I'll keep you safe. I will save you, Kota. Meanwhile, Mayday and Bakugou are walking through the gas-filled forest. Mayday was carrying a 1B student as she searched around. Where could all this smoke have come from? I hope everyone's alright. We gotta trust that crazy ragdoll girl. Why do I have to be stuck with you during, what the? Bakugou looked ahead to see another villain standing nearby. Hey, which group was in front of us again? Fumikage and Mizo were in front. Mayday said, looking a bit freaked out. The villain was seen standing over an arm, so tempting. No, I can't, I have work to do. He turned around to face the two. Must complete work. No fighting, huh? Is that the rule? A freaked out bakugou asked. Not a rule I want to follow right now. Mayday admitted, looking very freaked out. Back with Applejack, the Pussycats, Spinner and Magna, the groups looked ready to square off. Applejack seemed pretty confident though, 3-on-2 advantage, say we got this. Better learn to count, came a voice. Coming in from the shadows was another Spider-Man villain, Mac Gargan, better known as Scorpion. First Vulture now you? Applejack asked. Y'all really came all the way from New York just to find Spider-Man? We were told his daughter was here, while the locals have their own goals, we just want a way to grab Spider-Man's attention, Scorpion said. Applejack, anything you can tell us about him? Mandalay asked. Watch out for his tail, he has real poison that can kill us real quickly, Applejack warned. Spinner rushed to attack again, this time going for Mandalay. Fake heroes like you only care for your own glory. We'll extinguish you and restore order. Mandalay jumped aside, using her quirk to communicate with the villain before her. Wow Spinner, you're cool for a villain, I'd totally date you. Spinner stopped a moment, feeling a bit flustered by what he had heard. Wow, you're actually blushing. She went for a strike but he had quickly attempted a counter, which she evaded. You dirty harlot, don't pull tricks like that. Spinner shouted. Mandalay was about to attack again but she was pulled over by Magna, who was ready to crush her. Got you kitty. You won't use the same trick twice. Tiger shouted, punching Magna. Kenji Hikash, villain named Magna. Tiger attempted a few more strikes. Wanted for 9 robberies, 3 deaths, and 29 other attempts at innocent lives. Oh, am I famous? Magna asked, blocking a punch. Ah, got you Tiger. Applejack ran to help her ally but Scorpion rushed over, trying to sting her with his tail. Did you already forget me? Not that strong, you ain't the most memorable of Spidey's villains. Applejack taunted. Even Shocker's more interesting than you. You've got quite the mouth you country hick. Scorpion attempted another sting which Applejack cartwheeled away from. Tiger, Applejack, something's wrong. Mandalay warned. Ragdoll still hasn't replied. She's not one to ignore a report. Oh my, wonder what happened to her. Magna taunted, knowing full well the fate of the cat hero. Back with Izuku, he was still facing off against villain he encountered, who had begun to power up. Don't tell me you believe you can save this little brat. Muscular had powered up more, his tissue getting more exposed. I suppose that's something a wannabe hero would say, sprouting off about justice. Say what you want, you won't intimidate me. Izuku warned. Heh, good. Muscular covered his other arm. Your name's Midoriya rigged? We were told we could kill you. Right after some torment. He rushed in to punch Izuku. Let's see some BLD. Izuku quickly blocked the punch, but got knocked back against the crater, causing him a deal of pain. No. Kota shouted in worry. Ah, you hurt already? Muscular taunted. By the way, maybe you can help me out with something. Do you know where I can find a kid named Bakugou? Kaken? Izuku wondered. I still have a job to do. Muscular rushed in for a punch that Izuku dodged. What do they want with Kaken? Izuku wondered. From your silence, I take it you don't know, Muscular said, then rushed in to kick Izuku strong. Time to play then. Izuku hit the cliffside strong, falling to the ground as he began to bleed from his head. Good, I was hoping for some BLD. Ha ha ha. And you told that boy you would protect him. You stupid kid. Get your butt up, I'm not done with you. His quirk is too strong, I gotta focus on the fight and not Kaken, Izuku said, struggling to stand and rushed in to attack. Smash. He delivered his punch but Muscular blocked with little effort. You're fast kid, but you're not strong enough to do damage. Try this then, came a voice. From the shadows, Rina rushed in with her claws, about to strike. Take this. Before she could get in close, Muscular had kicked Izuku aside and met Rina with a strong punch to her stomach, causing her to stumble back in pain. Nice try, kid, looks like I have yet another amateur wannabe hero. Screw you. Rina went for another swipe but Muscular kneed her in the stomach and knocked her toward Izuku, both kids falling over. That girl's here too now? Kota grew even more concerned, seeing another student in danger. Looks like you got yourself a friend, kid, not that it matters, neither one of you are that strong against me, Muscular taunted. My quirk increases my power and speed exponentially, so my fibers can't even be contained in my skin. So you're a grosser version of heroes like the Hulk then? Rina asked. How cute, call it gross all you want, in the end neither one of you are in my league. Muscular rushed in for a punch but Izuku pulled Rina away, dodging the blow. Unfortunately, a rock had hit Izuku in the face, knocking him off balance. You alright, bud? Rina asked, before getting punched to the ground by Muscular. Ha! You're both helpless against me. Muscular ran over to knee Izuku in the stomach as he fell to the ground. That's for making promises you can't keep. If you're gonna give someone your word, at least have the strength to back it up. Muscular punctuated that statement with another punch. I got you, bud. Rina rushed to help but Muscular punched her across the face, knocking her next to Izuku. You're both frauds, and you're gonna die that way. Muscular said, then felt a pebble thrown at his head, courtesy of Kota. Remember water hose? Kota asked, the boy still in tears. My mom and dad. Did you torment them like you're doing right now? Wait, those losers were your parents? Muscular asked. This must be fate, since those water hose heroes are the reason I have an artificial eye in my left socket. This is all your fault. Because of people like you nothing is right in this stupid world. Kota shouted in anger and sadness. Amazing how quick kids are to point out other people's faults, Muscular said. Hey, I didn't take them out because of the eye thing, I just wanted to wreak havoc on the world and those two wouldn't let me. Because that's against the law. Rina shouted. Pfft, laws, you and your pitiful illusions of justice, Muscular taunted. What happened between me and Waterhose was just a result of us doing our best. The only travesty is promising to do something you can't do, which is why your mommy and daddy died, kid. Rina rushed into attack but Muscular had grabbed her by her neck. Izuku used this as his chance to leap off a wall and punch Muscular in the jaw, knocking him back a little. Get back. Muscular shook it off, barely feeling much. Is that all you had, kid? I told you your punches are weak. You really think you can win? It doesn't matter what I think. A hero's job is to do his best to turn his promises into a reality. Izuku shouted. That's why I made that promise, because I am going to fight to keep it. The hell are you babbling about? Muscular asked, genuinely confused. I got your back, Izukumidoriya, Rina said, getting into a stance. Let's take this guy down. If you don't mind, I need you to keep an eye on Kota. Izuku said, powering up his arm, a ton of energy surrounding his body. I'll end this now. What's happening now? Muscular wondered as Izuku rushed in with a punch. One for all, 100%. Izuku hit Muscular with a powerful attack, creating a wind that nearly blew Kota away. I got you, kid. Rina said, pulling Kota in as she used her claws to keep herself attached to the ground. Kota held on to the girl for dear life, despite not even knowing who she was. Well, he saw her around camp but she never interacted with him. Once the wind died down he peeked to see if Izuku was around. Is he? Hey bud. You there? Rina asked, before seeing Izuku step out of the smoke. Oh good, you're alright. No, he's not. Kota said, gesturing to Izuku's arm. Look. Rina turned to see that Izuku had destroyed his arm in that punch, worrying the girl a bit. Reminds me of how badly he messed himself up after fighting Shoto Todoroki, guess he still doesn't have full control over his powers. Sorry for worrying you, Kota, Izuku said, then turned to Rina. I appreciate you coming too, but why did you come? And how did you find me? Well, you are my partner, even if we didn't do that walk through the woods I felt some obligation to check on you, Rina said. So I followed your tracks while everyone else stayed behind to fight those villains. Plus, knowing Mayday, she would want someone to make sure you're safe. Thanks for coming, but for now let's get Kota back to camp, Izuku said. Not so fast, kid. Came Muscular, the villain emerging from the rubble, much to Izuku's surprise. Impossible. I used 100% of my power. Like All Might would. Izuku stood before Kota. Stay back. Gotta say, you're one impressive kid. Midoriya, didn't know you had it in you, Muscular said, getting closer. He said back off, Bob. Rina shouted, getting into a stance. I swear I will tear apart your muscles one by one. Wow, that's violent for a hero to say, but I guess I shouldn't expect anything less from the daughter of Wolverine, Muscular said. That's right, I know who you are. I was warned by the Brotherhood that you were among these UA students, some of them even offered a bounty on you. Me, I'd do it for free, mostly to PSS off your old man who tracked me down and attacked me a few years ago. Not gonna lie, thought he was gonna kill me, but fate was on my side that day. Your luck's run out, I'll finish what my old man started, Rina warned. Gotta do something quick. I don't think Rina Howlett can last long against him, neither can I with my arm like this. Izuku quickly thought of a way to stall. What does the League of Villains want with us? I don't freaking know, kid, I just wanted to raise some hell. Muscular said. I just want to use my quirk to my heart's content. Remember what I said earlier, we've just been playing around and having fun. Muscular pulled something out his pocket. But now the kitty gloves are off, honestly you're pretty strong. He placed something in his eye. I see that now. Midoriya. Get that boy out of here. Rina said. I'll hold this brute off. She rushed into attack just as Muscular wrapped the extra tissue around his arms. Izuku leapt off with Kota on his back as Rina rushed into attack, Muscular throwing a punch that she desperately tried to block but it just knocked her off the cliff side. How did he get so strong? Izuku wondered. It's like he received a power boost. Muscular quickly jumped at Izuku, throwing a punch that the boy was able to escape from, leaving his fist stuck on the cliffside. DMN, got too excited. Izuku fell to the ground, trying to think of his next step. I gotta get him back to camp, Mr. Aizawa could be there, then he can erase this guy's quirk. He tried to stand but he felt a bit exhausted. Not good, I'm too tired from the training today. Plus if I run I'll be leaving Rina Howlett by herself, I can't risk that. I gotta fight him, just remember where I started and how far I've come. Midoriya. Kota said, getting the hero's attention. Don't worry about me, just run for it, I'll keep him busy. Izuku reassured. Come on, it's useless. Kota insisted. Let's just run. It's not worth fighting that guy. Besides you're already hurt. Don't worry, just run. Izuku charged up his broken arm as Muscular went for another attack. One for all, 100%. Detroit Smash. Izuku landed his attack on Muscular, the villain using his exceeding fiber tissue to block the strike. Come on, kid. That was even weaker than before. Muscular shouted. Izuku, in an immense amount of pain, refused to let up and let this villain continue his evil. Kota. Run. Quick. Even now you're still looking after him, oh what a hero, huh? Muscular taunted as he powered up some more. Shut your DMN mouth. Izuku shouted, trying harder to fend Muscular off, despite the surging and horrific pain coursing through his body. Nearby Rina was climbing back up the cliff, seeing Muscular's assault on Izuku, the boy desperately fighting back. Midoriya. Kota couldn't understand any of this, wondering why Izuku is going through great lengths to protect him. Why is this happening? Why is he killing himself to save me? Show me your BLD. Muscular shouted. Izuku tried to fight back but his arm was getting weak, he was running out of power. I'm sorry Mom, I'm sorry All Might, I'm sorry to everyone who supported me. He was close to being crushed. I tried. No. Izuku. Rina called, rushing back onto the cliff. I won't let you kill him. You big, dumb butt. Don't worry. Muscular shouted at Rina after him. You're next. Suddenly he got splashed by water. Where the hell did that come from? Let him go. Kota shouted, water stained on his hands. Now. Kota. Izuku asked. Hey kid, you gotta be patient, Muscular said. After I'm done with these brats, then I'll dash. BSTRD. Rina rushed in and started clawing at Muscular's tissues. Don't take your eyes off me. That's it. Muscular turned away to face Rina. I was gonna wait but maybe I'll crush you dash. Rina then sliced her claw against his face, damaging his other eye, the villain screaming in pain. You little beach. I'm gonna make your suffering last. Just try. Rina clawed him more, trying to knock him away from Izuku while tearing off all his muscle fiber bit by bit. You think you can take me down? I'm the daughter of Wolverine. The best in the DMN world. Rina jabbed both her claws into his abs. Right now I'm in third place, I still have to surpass Big Sis Laura before I can surpass my pops, but I'll get there, crushing you will be my next step toward that goal. If you think you'll live long enough. Muscular raised his arm up. Then you're just a fool like these other wannabe heroes. That's so. Take this then. Rina jumped into the air as she powered up her psionic blades. Fatal Claw. The force of the attack knocked away a bunch of the muscle fiber, but it still wasn't enough to bring Muscular down yet, though it did slightly stun him. How are you kids so DMN strong? Muscular shouted in disbelief. I'll handle this from here. Izuku said, standing up and facing off against Muscular as he powered up 1,000,000%. He rushed in with a massive punch. Delaware Detroit Smash. With his punch, Izuku knocked Muscular right into the side of the cliff, finally knocking the villain out and defeating him in battle. The boy fell back a bit, his arms still in pain. Izuku. Rina rushed on to check on him. Hey, you alright bud? I'm fine, don't worry, Izuku said, trying to play it tough. Christ almighty, that was one powerful attack, reminds me of All Might, Rina said. Mayday said you were a fan but, wow, you're a bigger fan than I thought. You did great too, thanks Howlett. Izuku said. Just call me Rina, can I call you Izuku? Rina asked. If you want, or you can. Call me Deku. Izuku said. That is going to be my hero name. Deku huh? Don't know what it means, but I like the sound of that, Rina said. Kota still couldn't believe what he had seen, these two kids risked their lives to save him, one of them he was mean to and the other he barely even knew. It was then he remembered the words of his aunt. Kota, your parents, the water hose heroes. It's true they left you behind, but they saved so many lives in their sacrifice. You'll understand that someday. You'll understand someday why we do this. Why? Kota asked. Why did you risk your lives? The boy wiped his tears. You don't even know me, why did you try to save me? Because kid. Rina said, helping Izuku to his feet. That's what heroes do. We save people, it's what we do best. It's what your friend Deku here does best. Kota was still teary, the boy wiping his eyes. Rina's explanation was so simple, yet it spoke volumes. A hero, my hero. A group of heroes was shown leaving a busy city, quickly on their way to its outskirts toward the woods. The heroes were led by Spiderman, the hero having felt a nagging sense of worry. This wasn't the first time he's had this feeling, last time was a few months ago, when the USJ was attacked by villains. He could sense it, something was wrong, his daughter, niece and all their friends were in danger. Joining him was his wife Twilight Sparkle, and their friends the Human Torch, Rainbow Dash, Wolverine, Fluttershy, Simon 1 and Simon 2. Not much further, Peter said, checking the directions he was given by Aizawa. Let's hurry. Shouldn't take us too long to get there, Twilight said. Johnny flew by Rainbow Dash, looking somewhat annoyed. I get Mayday was in trouble last time, but can we really be sure that this is for real? Or is it just Peter getting overprotective? Better safe than sorry, you wouldn't want anything bad happening to Mayday or Flurry, would you? Rainbow Dash asked. Well no, I don't want them in danger, Johnny admitted. I guess a quick checkup won't be bad, just to rest easier. But if Gambit and Applejack are there, then I'm not that worried, plus they have other pros. Last time they had pros at all, Aizawa ended up in the hospital and Deadpool had to regrow his lower body, Rainbow Dash reminded. Normally I don't take Deadpool seriously, but he had one good point, where the heck was All Might? Why wasn't he there from the start like he was supposed to be? Think he used up all his power or something, Johnny said. Kind of irresponsible to do that for petty things that healthy heroes like us can stop in our sleep. He needs more faith in our skills probably, or he's just a glory hog, Rainbow Dash said. You know those hero types, showing up at the last second to be cool, Johnny said. Not like us, we show up early and remind the villains who the bosses are. Yeah, totally, Rainbow Dash said. Let's go show those villains who's boss. Whoever they are, Johnny said. Down below Logan had sped through the forest, following Peter and trying to pick up either Mayday's scent or Flurry's. Fluttershy flew right beside him, any luck? Not yet, we might need to get a bit closer, Logan said. Assuming this is the right direction. Of course, Peter got his directions directly from UA High, Fluttershy said. I trust Peter, but something about UA just throws me off, Logan said. From the sounds of things, Webhead there had to practically twist their arm into letting him know where this campsite is. They said it's for the protection of the students, which I get. But we're still their parents, we have a right to know exactly where our kids are. I can't argue with that, I know UA is a bit different than other schools, but so is Twilight's, Fluttershy said. And she would never keep a parent in the dark. How much do you even trust them to keep these kids safe? Logan asked. They already failed once, bunch of kids got ambushed at their training facility. Thank God Rena wasn't there, but I can't say I wouldn't have been just as upset if Mayday or Flurry got hurt. Also remember what Rena told us after talking to Mayday, All Might was supposed to be there. He was though, Fluttershy said. Yeah, at the tail end of things, Logan said. Guys like Goku sometimes, they show up at the very last second. Goku is one thing, he's not a pro so it doesn't matter as much. But All Might should be more responsible than that. I looked into it, and our symbol of peace had been doing hero work prior to the school day. Which is good, Fluttershy said. Guy can't keep his form up forever though. I get he can't ignore a cry for help but he's not the only hero in Japan that can save the day, Logan said. He's gotta leave some things to the rest of us. For guys like All Might, it's strong to do, Fluttershy said. It's not like he means harm after all, is it really right to criticize that mindset? Having heart is good, but sometimes you need a brain to go with that heart, Logan said. Been trying to explain that to Peter for years, thankfully he's somewhat picked up on it, but only barely. Fluttershy sighed in worry, can anyone truly MSTR that mindset? Also nearby, Gohan and Videl were flying close behind, the former trying to sense out any key he could. Strange. What is it? Videl asked. I felt a surge of power, but, it seems to be in another direction, Gohan said. Does Peter know where he's going? He's following the directions he was given by UA, Videl said. Maybe that power is something else. But it felt familiar, I'm almost sure it was one of the students, Gohan said, thinking about Izuku for a fleeting second. Maybe my mind's messing with me, but I could have sworn I felt something familiar. We'll find out soon enough, Videl said. It shouldn't be long till we get to those coordinates. Alright. Gohan could not shake his worry, part of him wanted to fly off and see for himself, but he stuck around with his group, he just hopes he won't regret that choice. Peter quickly rushed through the forest, getting there as quickly as he could, might be the League again, if it is, then you can bet I'll take them down for good. Your days of villainy are numbered, Tamira Shigaraki. Back at the villains' bar, Shigaraki and the Brotherhood continue to wait on the reports from the other villains, Kurogiri washing the dishes as per normal. You are confident they'll be fine on their own? Kurogiri asked. Yeah, I'm basically an NPC in this level, Shigaraki said as he played his game of solitaire. Plus, this game has totally changed. Treating this like one big video game, huh? Pyro asked. In a way, tell me, are you familiar with RPGs? Shigaraki asked. Role-playing games? Yeah, I've seen a few, like Dungeon Quest, heard that's pretty popular around these parts, Boom said. Then you understand the mechanics, to get ahead, you need the right equipment and levels, Shigaraki said. When we started out, we had great equipment, but we still challenged the big boss at level 1. So you want to gain EXP to level up? Boom asked. Precisely, I'm the player and I will be smashing through the hero ranks, Shigaraki said. I have to make a few cracks in the hero world, which is where the vanguard of the League of Villains action squad comes in. My hope is that they at least weaken the resolve of humanity's faith in heroes. Sounds more like a game of chess, Toad said. You're using them like pawns just to get to the king. You make me sound so heartless, Shigaraki said. Almost sarcastically. I'd never underestimate the strength of our allies, especially with those 3 New York villains with them. Their goals differ than mine, but they're still comrades, and that is important to society, hero or villain. That's why you're called the Brotherhood after all, you see each other kind of like as a family. That's a pretty heartfelt thing for someone like you to say, Avalanche said. It's just my honest emotions, even I can feel the touch of empathy, especially for some so-called heroes, Shigaraki said as he held a picture of bakugou. Because they too are bound by society's rules. You know what's funny? Boom said. I think Magneto once said the same thing. Despite our overwhelming numbers in the population these days, are we truly accepted? Having to hide our abilities to make everyone seem equal, instead of letting the strong dominate. Do you imagine Magneto coming out of retirement? Kurogiri asked. Can't say for sure, but if he did, it'd sure give us an advantage, Boom said. MSTR always spoke highly of Magneto, called him one of the brightest minds in the philosophies of Quirk society, Shigaraki said. Not to mention his incredible power, now that is what I call a max-level player. Back at the camp on the cliffside, Izuku stood in place, trying to catch his breath while Rina checked up on Kota. No injuries? Rina asked, carefully looking over. You're not hurt at all? I'm fine, Kota insisted. I'm not hurt. How are you feeling right now? Scared? Anxious? Rina asked, checking over him a little more. Think you'll be fine? I'm fine, really, Kota insisted. This boy was a bit surprised at how doting Rina was, given her aggressive nature. Just earlier she threatened harm on him, now she's making sure he's unharmed. He couldn't tell if it was a hero thing, or a girl thing. It's alright if you're scared, you were almost killed, Rina said, rubbing his head. Nothing wrong with being afraid, we all get scared sometimes. Even you? Kota asked. Of course, I was scared that Deku would die, I was scared that you could die, Rina said. I was even afraid that I could die, but that just motivates me to fight harder. Even pro heroes get scared. My dad would say you'd have to be stupid to not feat death. If heroes are scared to die, then why are they out there fighting? Kota asked. Someone has to, it's called bravery, Rina said. Being brave means not letting fear stop you. Deku didn't let his fear stop him, I didn't, and I know you won't let it stop you. Hey! Izuku said, getting their attention. Sorry to interrupt, what you were saying was really cool, but we should be going. Rina, maybe you can take Kota back, there's something I need to take care of. The only thing you should be taking care of is those injuries, you look pretty messed up, Rina said. I underestimated this guy, Izuku explained, confusing Rina and Kota. If these other villains are that strong, then we're all at risk out here. Plus, they seem to be after some of the students, I gotta let Mr. Aizawa, Gambit and the Pussycats know that's why they're here. So what are you planning to do? I mean, I hope you're not about to go fight more, Rina said. I have to, I'm not down yet. If I can move, I can save people, Izuku said. It's not worth your health though, Rina said. I know you're worried, but your life is just as important, let me get you back to camp and dash. No. Izuku said. I'm sorry, but this is something I have to do. Rina couldn't believe this, despite the injuries he was still willing to fight. She respects his determination. Mayday did say you were stubborn as hell to wanting to become a hero, guess she was right. You want to do what you need to do, that's fine, but I'm staying by your side. I can't ask you to do that, Izuku said. You're not, I'm doing it by choice, Rina said. Heroes stick together, my dad wouldn't ditch someone in need, neither would my mom or big sis Laura, consider me your backup. To Izuku, it couldn't hurt to have a bit of assistance, plus Rina is strong, probably one of the strongest in Class B given how far she advanced in the sports festival. Alright, I'll count on you then. Good choice, Rina said, then turned to Muscular. What about that guy though? We'll leave him here, with my attack it should have knocked him out, even if it was weaker than I wanted it to be, Izuku said. If that was weak, then I'd almost hate to see what it would look like if you reached your intended power, Rina said. I just want Kota to be safe, he might be able to help. The forest is burning, my friends, our friends might be trapped by the flames. Kota's water quirk can put those out, Izuku said. Me? Kota asked. Yeah, Izuku replied, kneeling to the boy. We need you. Rina rubbed the boy's head, you can be a hero too, Kota, just like your parents. Kota was speechless at the moment, but he nodded in agreement, willing and ready to help. Alright, both of you get on my back, Izuku said. Hey, I don't need to be carried, I got my father's genes and he's pretty fast, Rina said. One of his most overlooked traits. Same with my mom, people forget she was once called Hurricane Fluttershy. Wow, that's really cool actually, plus it'd be great if you could run. Kota, on my back please, Izuku ordered. Without any further objections, Kota had climbed on Izuku as he got ready to take off. Hold on tight, this could be rough. Izuku leapt off with Rina right beside him. A few minutes earlier, Aizawa had an encounter with Dabi, the villain attempting to burn him. Fortunately, Aizawa was fast enough to dodge and landed on the edge of the nearby roof. Nice moves, not surprised since you are a pro hero, Dabi said, readying his fire again. Not so fast. Aizawa erased his quirk and pulled him in with a kick to the head, knocking him onto the floor. Aizawa pinned Dabi down, alright, what's your goal here? And where are your friends? You expect me to tell you? Dabi asked, Aizawa breaking his right arm for that comment. Be logical before I break your legs, personally I don't want to have to carry you to jail but it's your choice, be reasonable or get hurt, Aizawa said. Heh, I can see why you're compared to Batman, Dabi taunted as another explosion went off. No matter, you're just wasting your time. What was that? Aizawa asked. Mr. Aizawa. Tenya called, arriving with Ejiro, Kirishima and Kota. Stay back. Aizawa warned. He's good, I won't be able to go on like this. Dabi struggled to stand. That's a good performance, fitting of a UA teacher. Dabi started to suspiciously melt. Tell me, are you worried for your students? I wonder if you'll be able to save them in the end. What in the world? Aizawa wondered. Did he just melt? Kirishima asked. What's going on? Aizawa rushed past them. Everyone get inside, I'll be right back. Isn't there anything we can do? Kirishima asked. For now, it's best we obey Mr. Aizawa before anyone gets hurt, Tenya said, then got shaken by a rumble, same with his team. It might be too late for that, came a voice. The 4 students came face to face with yet another villain. Is that a rhinoceros? Ujiro asked. So, you are the UA students, I have heard much of you, the villain deviously smirked. I hope you're a fun challenge. Wait, I know that guy, he's one of Spider-Man's enemies, Rhino. Kirishima said. Another one? Ujiro asked. These guys must really hate Spider-Man if they followed him all the way to Japan. What now? Do we fight? Kirishima asked. Be smart now, if you try to fight me, it will surely end in your demise, Rhino said. I am not here for any of you, I am looking for a girl, Spider-Man's daughter, is she here? You think we'd tell you? Kirishima asked. She's our classmate, we're not putting her in danger like that. Perhaps you need more convincing, Rhino warned, stepping forward. Be smart, you can get out of this in one piece, or I can impale you with my horn, it's your choice. Meanwhile the villain twice is attempting to adjust his quirk that he used prior to help his teammate, DMN Dabi. You just got your butt handed to you by a magic scarf. How weak, Dabi said. How dare you? It's not polite to say, phrase it as the pro being too strong, twice said. Always mind your self-esteem even in this perilous mission. Just make another clone so we can keep those pros occupied, Dabi said. Another small fry coming right up. Twice said. Leave it to me. Meanwhile Izuku is still running through the forest with Kota on his back, Rina running by his side, feeling a bit worried for the boy. Hey, do you want me to carry Kota? Rina asked. I'm fine, don't worry about me, Izuku insisted. But. Rina noticed someone nearby. Is that your homeroom teacher? You're right. Izuku realized. Mr. Aizawa. Midoriya. Aizawa turned to see Izuku, along with Kota and Rina. He couldn't help but notice Izuku's injuries, however. I'm so glad you're here, Izuku said. I want to tell you about the villains, but we don't have much time. Midoriya, Aizawa interrupted. And I have to find Mandalay and tell her about Kota and something else I learned. Izuku continued, paying little mind to his teacher. Hold on now. Aizawa again said, trying to reach the boy. Would you be able to keep Kota safe? Izuku asked. Aizawa grew a bit frustrated by Izuku's constant talking, he's having an adrenaline rush. I'm going to head off. Izuku said, about to leave. Wait up. Aizawa ordered, Izuku stopping in his tracks. You're badly hurt, did you go too far again? We went against some really tough BSTRD, Deku didn't have a choice, Rina said. Don't worry, we laid him out. That's not a good thing, Aizawa said. None of you are authorized to fight villains without licenses. Huh? You can't be serious, some guy was going to kill Kota, what were we gonna sit back and watch? Rina asked. My dad wouldn't sit back, you don't need permission to do the right thing. First Spider-Man's influence, now Wolverine's, that era of hero work really went down the toilet as far as rules go, Aizawa shook his head. Regardless of how your father would have handled it, rules are still rules. Come on, teach. Rina argued. I am not your teacher, but given the circumstances, I'll let this slide, Aizawa said. Midoriya, when you find Mandalay, give her a message from me. Meanwhile Tiger is still engaged in his battle against Magna, the buff hero going in strong. Hey no fair you cheater, Magna said. Let me get my weapon first. Tiger continued to attack, despite Magna's dodges, he's too quick. How can anyone be capable of predicting my style? Scorpion continued trying to sting Applejack, the farmer girl constantly moving but barely dodging his stings. So you come all the way from New York, and instead of taking in the sights of Japan, you want to team with a bunch of thugs and cause trouble. It's what I do best. Scorpion said. Plus it's good to knock you so-called heroes down a peg, ain't that right Spinner? That's right Scorpion. Spinner agreed as he attacked Mandalay with his sword, you are not real heroes. He constantly swung at her. You brought this on yourself. Wow you're persistent, Mandalay said, dodging each strike. As are you, Spinner said. But now you must die. I won't let you. Applejack used her lasso to wrap around Spinner's sword, trying to pull it apart. Applejack, watch out. Mandalay warned. Too late, she had been stung by Scorpion, the girl screaming out in pain. Good gravy. Applejack shouted, holding her throbbing arm. No. Mandalay went to attack Scorpion, but he fired some acid at her, the hero dodging out of the way, and nearly being open to Spinner. Die. Spinner barely missed, but Mandalay was still focused on her farmer friend. Tiger. Applejack's hurt. It's too late. She's dead. Scorpion shouted, ready to attack again. Smash. Izuku came in and punched Scorpion strong, knocking the villain to the ground. Izuku seemed to recognize who he just took down. That looks like one of Spider-Man's old villains, is he with the League? Whoa. Nice one. Applejack said, still holding her arm. Thanks Applejack, Izuku said, then noticed her arm. Wait, are you hurt? I'm fine, it's nothing, Applejack insisted. Wait, is that Kota? Yeah, it is, Izuku turned to Mandalay. Kota's safe. I found him. And I helped. Rina pointed out, running into view. The kid is with Mr. Aizawa. I'm so glad. Mandalay said, then noticed Izuku's injuries. What happened to your arm? Don't worry about me, Mr. Aizawa had a message. Izuku said. He has given everyone in Class A and Class B permission to engage in combat with the villains. Not that they should need it, Rina sassed. Mandalay nodded in agreement, everyone in Class A and Class B, by permission of Eraserhead, you are allowed to engage in combat. Use your training to fight these villains. Deactivating her quirk, Mandalay couldn't help but worry about Aizawa's orders, I hope you know what you're doing Eraser. Aizawa was seen running with Kota in his arms, remembering what he was told not too long ago, it sounds like our students are the targets of this attack, they do need to protect themselves and each other. If they get in trouble, I'll just take the blame for them, but they have to fight. Aizawa felt a twinge of regret. DMN, forgot to tell Midoriya to come back when he finished relaying the message, knowing him he'll try to help, he's too driven by his own emotions to realize he's hurt. Once this all ends, he's going to collapse from his injury. Hey Mr. Kota said, getting Aizawa's attention. Is that boy going to be okay? The little boy started feeling regret, remembering his original encounter with Izuku. I sort of punched him before, yet he got beat up trying to protect me. That girl helped too, she's a lot nicer than I thought she was. Kota began to tear up, I never even got a chance to thank them, please tell me I'll get the chance too. Don't worry, I can't speak for the girl, she isn't one of my students, as for the boy, well the reason he took those injuries is because he has no intention of dying, Aizawa explained. Still, he acted without my permission, and I will have to scold him later for it. You really mean that? That they'll both be safe? Kota asked. You'll get your chance to thank them later, just make sure that when you thank them, you speak from the heart, Aizawa said. Back with Izuku, the boy was still panting, looking very inured but still ready to fight. Rina stood right by him. Far as she's concerned, she still had to keep an eye on him, partially out of loyalty since they just fought together, after being assigned as partners, albeit for different reasons, but also since Mayday would worry otherwise. Deku, you should get back to camp, Rina said. Let me take these creeps on. Not without one more message. Izuku said, making a run for it. The villains are after Kaken. You have to let him know. Kaken? Mandalay asked. Who's that? You're open. Spinner went to attack Mandalay but Applejack had lassoed him. You ain't going nowhere, lizard boy. Applejack pulled at the villain, trying to knock him over. Mange seemed a bit surprised by the information that Izuku had given, that rumble in the ground earlier, there was a fight, wasn't there? Whoever fought this brat must have told him. Wait, was it Muscular who told him? Is this kid stronger? Rina. Get back to camp with Izuku. Applejack called, this distraction allowing Spinner to break free by pulling Applejack over and escaping the lasso. Magna broke free, engaging after Izuku, guess I'm gonna have to stop him myself. Big sis Mag. Don't. Spinner shouted, tossing a knife at his comrade as Izuku managed to escape. What the hell, Spinner? Magna shouted in annoyance. He's on the priority kill list. Say what? Applejack asked in confusion. Why is that boy a priority too? Keep in mind that only Shigaraki wants him dead, Spinner reminded. No duh. He's our boss. Magna pointed out. But that boy is worthy of being a true hero, he was even saved by Stain himself, Spinner said. So if Stain deems him worthy then dash. Suddenly Mandalay took Spinner down with a surprise kick while Tiger punched out Magna. Finally, got a solid hit in. Mandalay said. Now about that, hey young girl. Sorry, gotta check on Deku. Rina said, already far away. Let that bakugou kid know he's in danger. Hey wait. Mandalay called, but Rina had already left. Damn it, these kids don't listen much, still. Scorpion tried standing up, hey, I'm not do dash. Applejack rushed over and stomped on his head, knocking him down again, put a sock in it. She turned to Mandalay, probably should let that Kaken boy know he's being chased after. Right. Mandalay used her quirk to send the message. We've discovered one of the villain's targets. They're after a boy named Kaken. Bakugou? Zero asked from the remedial room. What could they want with him? Tenya asked, possibly about to engage in his own fight. Kaken, please avoid combat. Stick to a group. Mandalay said. No. Bakugou. Kirishima wanted to go look for his friend, turning his back on Rhino. Big mistake. Rhino charged at Kirishima, but Tenya had rushed in for a kick. Reciprocal burst. The attack barely phased Rhino, the veteran villain grabbing Tenya's leg and tossing him, though fortunately Ujiro was quick to catch his classmate. This guy's gonna be tough, Ujiro commented. Bunch of weaklings you all are, I have no need for any of you, just point me to the daughter of Spider-Man. Rhino demanded. Not a chance. Kirishima shouted, hardening his body. If you want answers so bad, you're gonna have to go through me. Kirishima. What are you doing? Tenya asked. This man is a very dangerous villain. I know who he is, I know this guy is one of Spider-Man's most frequent enemies, I heard he might be even stronger, Kirishima said. I am stronger than Spider-Man, Rhino boasted, stepping forward. Do you still wish to step up against me? Of course, I'm a hero in training, Kirishima said. Spider-Man has the guts to fight the strongest enemies, so I need to do it too. Bring it on, you oversized zoo animal. Big mistake. Rhino charged at Kishima again, the boy blocking as he took a blow that knocked him further into the forest, Rhino charging after him. We gotta help him. Tenya said. Right, though I don't know how we can hope to defeat one of Spider-Man's enemies, Ujiro said. Too bad Midoriya's not here, we could use his superhero knowledge, bet he memorized all of Spider-Man's fights against his villains. We'll plan as we go, hurry you two. Tenya urged, running into the forest as both Ujiro and Kota followed him. Meanwhile Bakugou was rushing at the villain, gonna beat you into a pulp. Katsuki wait. It's too dangerous. Mayday warned. You heard Mandalay, they're after you. Do you really want to endanger yourself? I'll be fine. Bakugou said. Suddenly a bunch of sharp metallic objects came at him. Fortunately Mayday was quick to pull him out the way. I told you to be careful. Mayday scolded. You're gonna get yourself killed. Surprised you care so much, Bakugou said in an almost taunting way. I thought you hated me, I'm surprised you haven't tried to ditch me like you wanted to during the practical exams. Huh. Mayday did remember that she told Izuku many times she wanted to leave Bakugou behind. How ironic that she is now in a position she could do just that, though she knows there would be consequences if she did. Well, this is different, I can't allow you to die. Are you really worried about me? Or are you more worried about what Deku would say? Bakugou asked, avoiding another oncoming metallic spike. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this was this DMN nerd's idea. Must work, must do my job. Came the villain's voice. Even if it was, at least he cares enough to keep an eye out for you. Suddenly more metallic objects came, causing Mayday to dodge quickly. The villain had leapt away, infuriating the girl. Damn it, Katsuki, take this boy while I go after that creep. No way. You get that kid out of here. Bakugou said, readying his explosion. Katsuki, your quirk isn't good for this terrain. Your explosion might start a fire. Mayday said. I'm aware of that. I know how my DMN quirk works. Bakugou said. Then why aren't you being cooperative? Mayday asked. Keep in mind we're surrounded by poison gas too, we gotta be smart about dash, the two heard screaming, both looking up to see that Vulture was flying off with Flurry Heart. Oh no. Flurry. Shoto was pursuing on an ice bridge with Gambit right behind him, the more experienced hero taking note of the new situation. What's happening here? I could ask the same. Mayday said, looking up. Is that one of my dad's villains? I got you, Flurry. Shoto shouted, leaping in with fire and trying to blast Vulture out of the sky. Careful now, you wouldn't want this girl to get hurt, Vulture taunted, hovering in the air. Put me down this instant. Flurry demanded. Soon dear, Vulture taunted, then turned to the side. Moonfish, how goes your work? Target found, must apprehend, Moonfish said. Must do my job. Mayday. Katsuki. Flurry called. Mayday. Vulture looked down. Ah, if it isn't Spider Dash. Your guard's down. Shoto leapt in again, trying to grab Flurry, but Vulture tossed her up and took the moment to kick Shoto to the ground. Fortunately Remy quick to rush in and break the fall. Nice try. Vulture said, catching Flurry midair. He turned to his fellow villain, let us hurry Moonfish. Let us complete our work. Complete job, must finish job. Moonfish snarled. What's with that guy? He's so creepy. Flurry said. Don't you worry, if you play nice, you won't have to worry about his wrath, Vulture reassured. Flurry. Mayday shouted, getting her cousin's attention. Oh right, Spider-Man's daughter, Vulture said, then turned to his ally. Moonfish, if you can apprehend her as well, that would be helpful. I have a personal grudge to settle. Your problem, I have work. Moonfish said. Shigaraki wants bakugou. Shigaraki. Flurry remembered the sinister villain, the memory causing a chill trembling down her spine. Vulture, what are you planning with Katsuki? I'd like to know myself. Shoto shouted, gliding in once again. I won't say it again, return her to me. Moonfish. Vulture ordered, flying up as the villain sent his teeth to knock Shoto back. Remy rushed in and tossed his cards up at Vulture, the villain quickly dodging. So close. Vulture taunted. Hey you old BSTRD. Put my cousin down. Mayday demanded, getting ready to use her webbing. Easy Mayday. If you make the wrong move, Flurry's gonna fall. Shoto warned. Fall, maybe that can work, Mayday said. Try to knock Vulture off balance, he can drop Flurry and I can make a web hammock for her. Are you nuts? That's too risky. Shoto said, then found himself blocking Moonfish's attack. I'll tear open your flesh. Moonfish shouted, going for another attack with his teeth. The hell's with this guy, is he crazy? Mayday asked, creeped out by the new villain. He's a very complicated man, Vulture said. Moonfish, these fools are getting in the way of your work, destroy them. Moonfish lunged again, this time Remy rushed in with his cards and sent some explosions to knock the demented villain back. Something tells me this guy is a few screws short of an engine. Flurry continued to struggle, trying to break free of Vulture's grasp. Look you, I'm really going to make you regret trying to kidnap me, if you don't let me go I'll show you hurt like nothing you've seen before. Quiet. Vulture shouted, squeezing HRD on her shoulders, causing her to yelp in pain. That's it. Mayday shouted. Mayday don't do anything dash, Shoto tried warning, but Mayday leapt up to attack. Let her go before I kill you. Mayday lunged up ready to strike, but left herself open to an attack from Moonfish, knocking her to the ground. Skin too tough. Moonfish lamented. No BLD. Not yet. She's gonna require a bit more than that, but I think you have it under AH. Vulture screamed in pain when Flurry grabbed his ankles, using her magic to cause him discomfort. I warned you. Flurry shouted. I'm gonna make this hurt. Brat. Die for all I care. Vulture flung the girl off, causing her to fall toward a tree. Flurry. Mayday was about to go rescue her when suddenly, Shoto jumped in and caught her in his arms. I got you, Shoto said, using his ice to slide to the ground. You're not hurt, are you? I'm fine, Flurry said, then realized that Shoto was holding her in his arms, her face turning red. Shoto noticed her blush, looking confused at first until he remembered he was carrying her. He quickly placed her down, feeling a bit awkward himself. That's good. Oh good, you're safe, Mayday said. Wait, why did you need to be caught though? You can fly. Oh right, Flurry said. Heat of the moment, I guess. Try not to forget what you're capable of, it can save your life, Remy warned. Mentor her another time. Bakugou shouted. We still got villains. Well now that they don't have a hostage, Mayday got into stance. I'm more than ready to lay into them. Let's hurry, I'm worried about our other classmates, Shoto said. Not just them, but the kids from the other class need help too, Remy said, readying his staff. Let's hurry and take these two down. Fools, none of you will be getting out of this alive. Vulture warned. Not too far away, Tetsu and Kendo had an encounter with the villain who released the poison-out gas into the forest area, the one known as Mustard. Things were rough considering the gas was strong, and he was armed, but neither kid backed down, both were really giving it their all here. You're so pathetic. Kendo shouted, using her giant hands to fan away the mist. The fact that you need a weapon shows you're not strong enough to be a threat without your gas. How dare you? Mustard aimed his gun, ready to take Kendo out when he remembered. Wait, that other kid. I forgot that he dash. Tetsu came in and punched Mustard strong enough to completely knock him out, destroying his helmet in the process and dissipating the poison. The gas, it's disappearing, Kendo observed. Of course, by breaking his helmet, he had no choice but to cancel his quirk, Tetsu said, falling to his knees in exhaustion. Stupid villain, ruining our summer camp. You'll have hell to pay for that. Let's tie him up and keep moving, Kendo said. I'm worried about the others, they could be in danger. Hopefully it's not too bad, I mean we got 2 UA teachers here, along with the Pussycats, a member of the X-Men and some apple farmer who's supposed to be really tough, Tetsu said. But of course, it'd be bad to leave it all up to them, and I wouldn't mind knocking out a few other bad guys. Let's rendezvous with our friends, with any luck we'll run into Franklin, the two of us can coordinate a plan, Kendo said. Oh right, he's like your right-hand guy, Tetsu said. Swell kid, hope he's doing alright. That's what I want to make sure of too, Kendo said. Come on, let's hurry. Elsewhere Izuku and Rina are both still running through the forest, trying to find any sign of their friends. Where could this DMN bakugou kid be? Rina asked, looking around. He and Mayday went second in a test of courage, they might still be around here if they haven't gone back to camp yet, they might be around here, Izuku said. If he's with Mayday then he should be fine, she's the strongest kid in school, aside from probably Frankie, Rina said. Huh? You mean Franklin Richards? How is he dash? Suddenly Izuku and Rina had been pulled out of the way of an attack. You two alright? Came the voice of Mizo Shuji. Sorry for being so sudden. Huh? Rina looked down. Oh, I remember you from the sports festival, you carried 2 kids on your back. Yes, and you're Rina Howlett, Wolverine's daughter, Shuji said. It's a pleasure to meet you, I have great respect for your father. He'd appreciate that, Rina said. Shuji, what's wrong? Izuku asked, taking note of the boy. Wait, you're injured. As are you, but I know you're not the type to worry about your own injuries first, Shuji said. We got attacked by villains. I tried to cover us both, but the attack triggered Tokoyami's quirk, and he desperately didn't want to use it. Tokoyami? Isn't that the guy I fought at the sports festival? Rina asked. Yeah, but why would he, oh no. Izuku remembered what he was told at the sports festival. Deku, what's wrong? Rina asked. His quirk gets strong to control in the dark. Izuku said. Which means? Yes, we'll have to get through Dark Shadow first, Shuji said, the 3 facing off with Tokoyami in his now massively large shadow, the boy unable to control it. Stay back. Tokoyami desperately warned. If you get too close, you'll die. OSHT. Rina commented. The villain attack continued, all the kids of Class 1A and 1B attempting to subdue any villain they came across. Though for a select few, the danger lay beyond just another villain. Tokoyami was struggling, trying to maintain his power over Dark Shadow, however that proved to be difficult for the bird boy. What caused this? Rina asked. Is his power always this out of control? Only at night, but he was training this past week to control it. How did he lose it so badly? Izuku asked. It started after we got attacked by villains, Shuji explained. While on alert, one of the villains attacked and separated us, I lost my arm in the process. Wait, really? Izuku asked, looking to the wound on Shuji's arm. Oh no. Don't worry, it'll grow back, Shui reassured. My quirk allows for me to make duplicates upon duplicates. Still it must hurt, my dad told me about the time he had to reattach himself after the Hulk tore him in half, Rina said. Even if he was fine, you don't forget that trauma. Rina, I don't think you're making this any better, Izuku scolded. Right, sorry, Rina said, trying to get back on topic. So did Tokoyami lose control while trying to fight the villain who attacked you? More or less, Shuji said. Seeing me injured fueled him with rage, and thus he lost control of his quirk. That's terrible. I knew he struggled in the dark, but this is a whole different level of what I expected, Izuku said, amazed by the raw power of Dark Shadow. It's probably fueled by regret. He tried to hold it back but to no avail, Shuji said, stepping back and accidentally breaking a stick. This alerted Dark Shadow and it nearly attacked the three, though Tokoyami showed enough restraint to keep that from happening. Just forget about me. Find the others. He continued to struggle, trying to regain full control over the shadowy beast. Enough Dark Shadow. End this now. Since his quirk is weak to light, we'll need some type of fire, Izuku suggested. If only Todoroki were here. I could use my blades, Rina checked her psionic claws. Might be too small though, I don't even think my fatal claw would work either. Midoriya, Howlett, Shuji began. Bad as our circumstances are, I can't leave Tokoyami behind. You, Midoriya, dragged your broken body to find Bakugou. I can help you finish that goal. I'll distract Dark Shadow while you and Howlett find our targeted classmate. It's too risky to leave you here alone, Rina said. I'd stay with you but I'm worried about Deku going by himself and Dash. Suddenly Dark Shadow attacked again, nearly getting the three. Rina and Shuji leapt out of harm's way with Izuku in tow. I know the risk, but that's part of what makes a hero. Shuji said. All heroes need to take the necessary risks. Now, you can help me save Tokoyami, or find Bakugou. Whatever answer you choose, I need to know that answer now. If anything, I can go alone to find Bakugou if you're that worried about him, Deku, Rina suggested. No, I have an idea, Izuku said. Meanwhile Moonfish continued his attack, trying to hit all the nearby heroes with his teeth, which Shoto blocked with his ice. Vulture tried flying in from behind, but Bakugou kept him at bay with his explosions. This guy's a real pain in the butt. Bakugou said. That's it, I'm blasting everyone. Did you forget what I said about the fire though? Mayday asked. She's right, if you cause a fire we're going to have another problem, Shoto said. Find another way. Just use your stupid ice to put out the fires. Bakugou said. I may not be able to see the fire if you cause a massive explosion. Shoto said. It's too risky. That and it's going to give us a distraction that we really don't need right now, Flurry said, trying to blast a circling vulture out of the sky. Remy, maybe you should hold back on your cards too, Mayday suggested. Good call, Remy said, twirling his staff. I got other ways to take out these fools. Before a fight could break out, Izuku's voice was heard by the group, I see ice up ahead. Izuku. Mayday's eyes widened in a glimmer of hope. Thank God he's all right. But we got bigger problems. Remy pointed out, seeing Dark Shadow crawling over. What in the world? Vulture commented. What is that beast? That's not one of yours. Remy asked. Not unless the upper management changed plans. Vulture said. Bakugou. Todoroki. Came Shuji's voice. We need light. Fast. Dark Shadow attacked again, nearly knocking over Moonfish, Vulture quickly flying by his side to aid his comrade. Yo. If you guys got light, feel free to use it. Came Rina's voice. You too, Flurry. You can make things bright. You're a crystal princess after all. I recognize Shuji and Midoriya, that other girl, is that Rina Howlett? Shoto wondered. It is, I recognize that aggressive voice anywhere, Mayday said. But that giant shadow, that almost looks like Fumikage. I think it is. Flurry said, marveling in fear at the monster. But, how did he end up like this? Doesn't matter, let's put a stop to it. Shoto said. Don't, Bakugou said. This could work in our favor. How? Mayday asked, and got her answer from Bakugou pointing to Moonfish. No, they're mine. They're mine to tear apart. Mine to pierce through their flesh. Moonfish shouted. Don't steal from me. Moonfish. Pull back. Vulture warned as he flew off. That thing is out of control. Shut up. Moonfish shouted as he attacked Dark Shadow. My kill. Mine to slice open. Dark Shadow then grabbed Moonfish, crushing the villain and breaking all his metal teeth. Insignificant bug. You are meaningless to me. Huh, using a monster to take down a whack job, good call, Mayday said, happy to deal with whom she deems a second-rate carnage. Of course, Bakugou said. Todoroki, princess, let's go what we gotta do. Dark Shadow tossed Moonfish against a tree and turned his attention to Vulture, now you. I don't think so. Vulture flew in, dodging the attacks and aiming for Tokoyami. That boy is the center of this shadow, if I can get to him then. Dark Shadow had managed to land a punch to Vulture, knocking him across the air and landing far off from the group. Not enough, it's not enough. Dark Shadow shouted, ready to attack again, but before he could do more damage, Shoto, Flurry and Bakugou used their quirks to create a bright enough light to simmer Dark Shadow down. Tokoyami was finally back to normal, Remy quickly rushing to check on him. You alright kid? Yeah, I'm fine, mostly, Tokoyami said. Huh, looks like I'm a terrible match against you, guess you lucked out during the sports festival, Bakugou commented. Time and place kid, Remy scolded. Thank you for saving me, Tokoyami said. He noticed Flurry offering her hand. That's what friends are for, Flurry said, helping the boy up. Not easy to struggle with darkness, most would let it take over them, like what happened to King Sombra. Like you, he struggled with the darkness and the shadows, but at least you yourself never lost control of who you were inside. I'm sorry, but that's not true, Tokoyami said. My anger consumed me, and I let my quirk take over. I know it was part of your plan Midoriya, and you did make the right call by telling me to not fight it too much, but I should not have allowed that to happen in the first place. Rather I should have been able to completely control it. I took a huge risk and it nearly got everyone killed. But Fumikage. Flurry tried reassuring. I appreciate your attempts at consolation princess, but that doesn't change the fact that I lost control. I even hurt Shuji, and I could have hurt so many others. My powers could very well spell destruction to those around me. Tokoyami said, almost in tears. What if I end up just like King Sombra? ASLV to my own darkness. Flurry placed her hand on his shoulder, attempting to calm him. The fact that you feel remorse says you won't be anything like King Sombra. Because he would not have cared about who he hurt or what he destroyed, just like the villains attacking us didn't care. Plus, it all worked out, Shuji reassured. I bear no grudge for what happened. I know if the roles were reversed, you'd say the same to me. Tokoyami felt some relief, grateful to have such understanding friends. Thank you again. Any reason we're talking about some old, irrelevant king? Bakugou said. We still have a bigger problem at hand. That reminds me, did everyone hear Mandalay before? The villains are after Kaken, Izuku explained. Yeah I remember, but what for? Though? Mayday asked. Do they want to kill him? Why would they want to? Flurry asked. Katsuki, did you tick anyone off? How the hell would I know? Bakugou asked. Let's just get this boy back to camp, we'll figure out the details later, Remy said. Plus I want to check up on Applejack and the others soon, I'm kind of worried. Last I saw your wife, she, Mandalay and Tiger were fighting the villains at the clearing, Izuku said. Our boy Deku here knocked Scorpion the hell out, Rina said. Scorpion? As in another one of my dad's enemies? Mayday asked. That means there could be more of them out there. First the Brotherhood, now Spider-Man's enemies, Remy said. I can only imagine who else is crossing the Pacific to get here. My point though is that I don't know if the villains got detained. If we go there they'll just notice Kaken and pursue us, Izuku said. So we cut straight through the forest to camp where our pal Katsuki here can be safe, Rina said. What of the other potential danger? Tokoyami asked. There might be more villains. Shuji can use his search ability to seek out any danger, Izuku said. Even if a villain shows up, we have Todoroki, Mayday, Rina, Flurry and Gambit as our muscle as well. We are a formidable group, bet we can be like a mini Avengers, Mayday said. Hey, I can survive by myself. Bakugou shouted. More like you'll get yourself killed, Rina said, enraging Bakugou further. I don't need your DMN protection. Bakugou shouted. Truthfully, he was getting on everyone's nerves. It sounded like he was trying too strong to sound tough, not sure if out of bravery or stupidity. Keep your voice down, kid. Remy ordered. We're getting you to safety, whether you want to do it the easy way or the strong way is up to you. That a challenge, old man? Bakugou shouted. Bakugou, we're on your side, remember? Shoto said. At least try to respect that Gambit is a pro-hero and deserves to be spoken to with respect. I didn't ask for your input, icy hot. Bakugou shouted. I'm not arguing this, just get walking, Bakugou, Shoto said as the group started moving. Hey, don't give me orders. Bakugou warned as he followed. Mayday, can you keep an eye on Kaken? Izuku said. Stay close to his side. Ew, do I really have to do that? Mayday asked. You're the only one who can physically restrain him if he causes trouble, please. I know you don't like Kaken, but it's the right thing to do, Izuku said. Hey, are you talking about me like I'm not here? Bakugou angrily shouted. Mayday, do this for me, Izuku said. Mayday groaned in annoyance. This was not something she wanted to endure, but unfortunately she can't resist her crush's plea. Damn it, Izuku, alright fine, I'll watch over Grenade Boy. Bakugou grumbled in annoyance, freaking pain in my butt, like I need a bunch of DMN bodyguards. Mayday groaned in annoyance, ungrateful cheebag, be happy we don't just ditch you. To think not too long ago, Mayday was in a battle exercise involving this very possibility, talk about foreshadowing. Even Bakugou seemed aware, having brought this up himself. It's like fate is testing her resolve. I can't let him get captured though. Izuku wouldn't forgive me if I didn't give it my best to keep him safe. I'll put in some effort at least, shouldn't be too strong. I have no idea how his teachers put up with his CRP, too bad UA don't got teachers like Ororo or Hank to keep them kids in line, Remy felt. Hell, send in Logan to teach this kid some manners. If I find Aizawa, alive at least, I gotta be up front about his teaching methods if this boy is going around like he's all that. All I care about is getting everyone to safety, Izuku felt. If we work together, it's very much possible to achieve. I believe in us. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 3. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Masterob on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.